This is actually my Bo Nix Horizontal Kaboom rookie card NFT, and as we can see, it has a total mint count population of only 25. This is the Bo Nix Horizontal Kaboom PSA 10 rookie card, and as we can see from the PSA population report, it has a current PSA 10 population of 258. This again is my Bo Nix NFT Kaboom Horizontal rookie card, and in the past 60 days, it has not gone up in population at all. In fact, it can't go up in population. Now we're on the Market Movers website to check the population growth for the PSA 10 Bo Nix Horizontal Kaboom rookie card. And as we can see, the growth over the past 60 days has been 28. Now, I don't want to get too confusing, but it looks like the Market Movers site is a little behind. They probably just do an API poll once a week because it's showing the current population at 255 when we know real time from PSA Pop Report directly it's 258. So in reality, this population growth is not 28, it's actually 31. And that in itself is very interesting, if not even a little ironic, because in the past 60 days, the PSA 10 pop growth has already surpassed the total mint count of this NFT on the Panini blockchain. If we take it a step further and we scroll over one, we actually see that as an NFT, you can actually burn it. So in essence, the population can never increase, but there is a potential for it to decrease, even though this particular NFT has not seen that. Now, back on the PSA Pop report, I honestly don't even know how to read this or look to see if a PSA 10 population has gone down, but we've already established that if nothing else, the PSA 10 population can go up. Now, I bought this particular Bo Nix NFT a few months ago, and as you can see, I paid $75 for it. So for full transparency, if we go down to recent sales, the last two sales seem to have been back in May, and they sold for $135 a piece. With the current buy now on the market, there's one available for $150. So you can go ahead and buy that now, or you can go ahead and put an offer in to even match the $135 or get it for even lower. Now, if we hit eBay to see a recently sold auction, what we're going to see, we don't have to scroll down that far at all. Back on August 6th, which was just a couple weeks ago, a PSA 10 of the Horizontal Kaboom sold with 30 bids, and it closed at $2,050. Now, if you're still wondering why I chose the NFT over the PSA 10, stay tuned because I have two more case hit examples of Bo Nix's that's going to show something similar to what we're looking at now. But before we get to that, let's do a quick recap. So to do a quick recap of what we just saw, I think it's pretty clear why I chose the NFT over the PSA 10. It has real scarcity, it has true transparency, and as of right now, at least, it has pricing power. They're still consistently selling for a fraction of what the PSA 10 or even the raw cards are selling for in the physical world. So when I look at these two comparisons side by side, the NFT just seems to have full accountability for itself as a collectible. Okay, what do I mean by accountability? Well, let's take, for instance, the NFT. The actual product, the NFT itself, is numbered, and it's a perfect representation of itself. So therefore, it has built-in scarcity. It's also built on blockchain technology, which shows you the provenance or the beginning of the card when it was first pulled from a pack, all the way through every sale of that particular NFT. It also has a mint count that you cannot exceed, but at some point it could be burned so it can go down. So that brings in the transparency. So when I look at the NFT, it is fully accountable for itself. It doesn't need any third parties to validate, to create transparency, or to create scarcity. Now, on the other end, the PSA 10 isn't numbered, and we don't actually know the print run or the quantity for the raw card. So in that instance, it's not creating its own scarcity. Even if you pull one from a pack, you might start to notice it being a little off center. One of the corners is nicked, so already you know it's not a PSA 10. Now, that's not your fault. Now, on the other end, if you do pull one and it looks pristine and all of your friends agree, that's perfect. It's centered, the corners, the surface, everything looks great. You still need a third-party grading company to validate that for you. So therefore, in both the scarcity and the transparency, this particular card has no accountability for itself. Now, before this video is over, I promised you two more case hit scenarios where we're going to compare the NFT real fast to the PSA 10. The first one being very similar to what we just saw with the Kaboom Horizontal. It is the Bo Nix Downtown. full transparency, I do not own this sports card. I understand they're popular, but just me as a personal collector, I don't really I don't get the downtowns necessarily. But for argument's sake, this has the same scarcity. It's out of only 25. If we look at the floor price, it's currently set at $250. But if we go down to the sales history, one just sold a couple weeks ago for $135. Before that, we did see a 235 sale. The 310 was a jersey number, so that makes sense. Before that, you see 55.99. So, the price is still trying to find its bottom. Is it 250 or could you get one from a collector for cheaper? That's up to for you to decide. Let's jump over to the PSA 10. Now, here we are back on the PSA Pop Report. We're going to take a look at the Bo Nix Downtown PSA 10 population, which looks like it is sitting at 331. So again, take into consideration on the Panini Blockchain, the NFT has a current mint count of 25 and it cannot go up. It can only go down. We are looking at a PSA 10 population of 331 that effectively can go up from month to month, can go up from week to week. Now, if we jump over to eBay to find a recent sale, we don't have to go far. It was only 2 days ago, and it was a PSA 10 Bo Nix Downtown, and apparently by the description, this card is hot. 17 bids, and it sold for $1,500. So again, to recap, this NFT has a total mint count of 25, can't go up, can only go down. I wouldn't bet on it, but it's possible. It has a buy it now price of $250 with the last sale at $135. By comparison, the PSA 10 has over 10 times the supply right now, sitting at 331. And the most recent sale was just a couple days ago with multiple bidders at $1,500. So again, you start to see that same ratio where the NFT is 10 times more rare, selling for 1/10 the price. Now, I'll admit this last one is a little peculiar. I don't know why exactly I chose this one, but I think it was because just the price point, and it's not that case hit that everyone's necessarily going for, but it's a cool card, and it's going to be cool to compare that this isn't just happening with some of the bigger cards. You can also see it with some of the smaller ones too. Case in point, the total mint count, again, that we're dealing with is 25 for this particular card. And it has a floor price of $18. Now, if we go to the recent sales, we're going to see 13, 23, 19, 13. So, I mean, a floor price of 18 seems to be realistic. You could offer even less and maybe get back down to that 13 or even lower. So for a total mint count of only 25, to have this particular card in your wheelhouse between $10 to, let's say, $15 compared to, again, on eBay, we don't have to go far to see that just 4 days ago, a raw version of this particular card sold at auction for $206.50, and there were 26 bids. And again, we don't know the actual population of this particular card, but I just kind of wanted to compare, instead of comparing a PSA 10, just compare the actual NFT, which we know has a mint count of 25, to a raw version of its physical likeness where we don't know what the actual population is because we're just taking it in its raw form. But you could buy the NFT for, like we said, between $10 to $15 when the raw just sold in the physical form for 206. So that's almost a 20x difference from its raw comparison, not even the PSA 10. Now, I hope you enjoyed this kind of dive that we took into the Bo Nix world. Now, if Bo Nix isn't the actual player you collect, there's similarities like this amongst all of the different NFTs and players. You're going to find this with whoever you collect. And I'm trying to bring different players, different sports, different sets to the limelight to hopefully grab the attention of the collector who does collect that particular thing. And by doing that, educate them and teach them about what's happening on the Panini blockchain and NFTs and what I personally think is going to be coming in the future. We are just very early in the cycle still. So if you like this information, please subscribe, please comment, and I'll see you next time.